So today we're going to be hiking the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail and Hiking Trail located in Belchertown, Massachusetts. You can see I started right where those red and green dots were by the old Talladega School. This hike took about 40 minutes, but I stopped to take some pictures, and I would say it's a little bit over 1 mile in length. It's a pretty easy beginner trail. There's kind of three starting spots for this trail. There's one by the police station, there's one here by the old school, and there's one a little bit down further by the baseball fields. But I decided to take this middle one and just wing it, see what it was like. The gravel is pretty noisy, as you can hear, to walk on, but it's got this nice fence line that I am assuming is there in case you are visually impaired. So it looks like on the right here they're actually going to have a spot for some benches, which I think will be really neat. I come to the first tee, and I wasn't really sure which way to go. It kind of wants you to lead you to the left, but I decided to take a right because I knew there was a little deck over here by the water to stand on, and I wanted to check that out first. This trail has these informational signs all over the place that give information about the local wildlife and the lake itself, which I thought were very neat for people that wanted that information. This is a great trail system that's located pretty close to the center of town and right near most of the schools in Belchertown. So to have this resource so close to the population center was really wonderful. So we come to the next tee in the trail here, and we'll take a left, and this leads out to this wonderful dock, or it calls wetland boardwalk here, I guess. This thing was really, really amazing. There's a ton of wildlife, and the lake itself is beautiful. You can just see the amazing view. Having these cattails and these dead trees and all the greenery around, this was an amazing view to have so close to the population. I really, really enjoyed this part of the hike and the walk. So it's time to check out the rest of the trail. We'll leave that observation platform and we'll take a left to where I know the sports fields are located. I actually wasn't really sure if this was part of the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail because there's no current trail map, at least from what I could see. So if you guys know of a trail map, link it in the comments and I will add it to the video or redo the video. Or anyways, it would just be nice to have a real trail map of the area. This trail overall so far would be really easy for young families to navigate. There's no overgrown areas currently. It's flat, at least where the gravel portion is, and it's a really safe seeming trail. So I wouldn't hesitate to, bring my young kids, even with a carriage or anything like that, on this trail. You can see a little spot for the next bench, which would be really neat. Before we make it to the athletic fields, we have this other lookout that's much smaller than the observation deck and is much more natural feeling. It was really awesome here. I'm not sure if they will put a bench here or if they're just going to leave it like this, but either way, it's a really, really neat little area. Very quiet and peaceful. I enjoyed it. As we leave this little lookout area, this is the back of the old Talladega school. We started to the right of the school just a few minutes ago, but we'll take a left here, and this trail kind of curves off to the right where it dead ends, and it looks like there will be I'm not sure, I was thinking maybe a piece of art or a sculpture would be located in this little area, which I think would be pretty cool if they, added a bunch of sculptures to this trail to make it even more entertaining and neat to be around. But as of right now, there was nothing to look at, so I just turned around and headed towards the right down this dirt road that leads to the athletic fields. This whole section was actually old Belchertown State School property that the town owns this section, but the state of Massachusetts owns large portions of this area, I believe, still. But back here located is the soccer fields and the baseball fields for the youth program. I'm wearing my Saucony trail runner shoes. I don't have any hiking boots at the moment. They are worn out, but you can see the soccer field here. This is a neat little quiet spot also that I've been to many times as my kids play sports in the area. But we'll head down here. We'll head down here and we will go through this new baseball field and we'll pick up the Lake Wallace Hiking Trail. I was told, or I had heard rumors, that when the state school owned this, there was actually a swimming pool located off to my left here somewhere, but there is nothing remaining of that pool. And off to the right, there's actually a really neat bridge just in the middle of the woods that crosses, I believe it's the Lamson Brook. I wish that they would have incorporated the trail system using that bridge also. It would have been a really neat addition. As you can see, I saw a bunch of geese over here, so I figured I'd go take a look at them. There was quite a few here, and I enjoy seeing the local wildlife. In this beach, there's a ton of stuff going on, frogs and turtles and tons of things for young families to enjoy, so I definitely visit this little section as much as possible. I didn't want to disturb the geese too much, so I decided to continue on. And this is where the trail turns from the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail pretty much to the Lake Wallace Hiking Trail. They put a gate up here because the snowmobiles come through here in the winter. But if you have younger families, you probably, depending on the age and their ability level, you may end your walk or hike right here. But this trail past the skate is really pretty easy also, so I would say young kids can still navigate it pretty well. You can see that there's some leftover remnants of some old dam from when the state school was around, I'm sure. I didn't realize it before, but it looks like the cross country team uses this trail system for some of its races, which is pretty cool. It's a fun trail, and I've trail run this portion before. There's fireplaces up in this area too from the old state school. I couldn't find any on this trip, but they are off in the woods just a tad here, and I'd like to come back and explore through the woods here a little bit more and see what other artifacts are left from when the state school was located here. I've run this in the winter, or trail run in the winter, or hiked in the winter also, and this is all snowmobile trail in the colder months. We're on the back side of Lake Wallace here. Still, the view's amazing. It's baffling to me that more people don't utilize this location more. We're currently headed back towards 202 and the Pride gas station somewhat. just to orient you a little better. We'll get up here a tad and we'll come up to 202, and we'll have to walk along 202 slightly to get back onto the rest of the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail. So here we are on this old snowmobile trail and crossing this old snowmobile bridge. This is usually got a lot more water in it, but this summer has been pretty dry. After the bridges, we have this little hill we got to climb up, and this hill leads pretty much right to 202. So this is where the trail gets less nice, and you got to walk along the roadside just a tad. And if you have young kids, this might be a little bit difficult for them to climb, but overall it's still a fairly easy hike. The trail, surprisingly, right off the road here was a little overgrown. I wasn't expecting it to be this bad. And then it's unfortunate that the trail's up this close to the road. You gotta walk along this guardrail in the road, and cars flying by. This is 202, but this also would be a good place to stop and get a drink. Up there on the right is the Pride Station, so you could cross up here and stop and get a drink and bite to eat if you wanted to. Luckily, you're only walking along the road for a short distance and it dies back down towards the lake. And you continue along this nice nature trail path. There's a picnic table right here. I bet the snowmobilers use this to stop and take a little break. And if you keep walking up here, we go behind the new restaurant in Belchertown. I believe it's called Crispy's, which is also a good place to stop and take a little break if you wanted to. So this is where the hiking trail meets back up with the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail. And right here, if you take a left, there's also a really cool lookout. See the start of the Lake Wallace Hiking Trail there. And we'll go check out this beautiful lookout. Coming up to another one of these really well done bridges make this trail much more enjoyable for novice hikers. If you take this trail off to the right, it leads up towards 202 and the Belchertown, Massachusetts police station, and pretty much the end of the trail. Now you could take this back and walk along the road to your parking place if you were done hiking and walking. There's a nice bench up here on the right also that you could relax on. And this would be also a good place to enter the trail. There's a parking lot right across from the police station that you could park at, but I think it's better to park over by the school system as of now, or the old school system, I should say. So we'll continue on to the right here and head towards what I know as the end of the trail and where the skate park is, behind the Belchertown Rec Center, crossing another bridge. So we're coming up to the end of the trail where it opens back up to the recreation area currently behind the Belchertown Rec Department. To the right here, is the Belchertown Skate Park, which is often very populated. It's not too busy today, but there's normally a bunch of kids having fun in there. And this trail will lead back to the right and out the way that I came in, where the parking place is across from the old school. If you enjoyed this video about the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail and Hiking Trail, please subscribe and like, and I'll do some more. And if you know of any other good trails in the New England area, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to go check them out. Thank you very much.